pray that you would join me in the book of James. The book of James, all the way towards the back of the Bible. The letter of James, chapter 2. We'll start at verse 14. Please allow me to read this for your hearing. What good is it, my brothers and my sisters, if someone says he or she has faith, but does not have works? Can that faith save him or her? If a brother or sister is poorly clothed and lacking in daily food, and one of you says to them, "Go in peace, be warmed and filled," without giving them the things needed for the body, what good is that? So also, faith by itself, if it does not have works, is dead. Faith by itself, if it does not have works, is dead. Faith by itself, if it does not have works, is dead. We live in a world where the cycle of life is ever so present and prevalent. If one looks at the notion of nature, we have autumn or fall, which leads into winter, which leads into spring, which leads into summer. And relative to where you live on the planet, each cycle, each season is characteristically different than the last. For our brothers and sisters in agriculture, there's a season for planting, and there's a season for reaping. There's a season for sowing, there's a season for growing. And depending on what fruit you are planting, it has its own season, cycle, and course of action. Similarly, we as people have our seasons. If you walk with me during the Advent season, we have a notion of being grateful, being thankful, and then as we turn towards the new year, we generate a sequence of resolutions. We aim and we endeavor to be better than we were in the previous year. And so we come up with a list of resolutions or goals or ambitions by which we attempt to hold ourselves accountable. And then somewhere in the spring, we have the Lenten season. It's a season where we choose to again make a change of course, where we choose to focus on something that may be preventing us from being in fellowship and or union with God, and we decree that we will no longer allow this thing, whatever it is, to be an obstacle to our relationship with God. And so some of us choose to give up soda pop because we crave soda pop so much that it becomes an addictive habit. Some of us choose to give up chocolate because we love chocolate so much that it becomes more of a priority in our time of prayer. Some of us choose to do something extra special, such as get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and spend 5 to 10 minutes of prayer during this season so that we can give up a little bit of our sleep in order to focus on our relationship with God. But the point being that we live in a universe that has cycles and seasons, and God indeed created us to have cycles and seasons. Well, where does faith come in? The notion is that many of us have this inkling of a connection, a relationship with God, and oftentimes we call that faith. Sometimes we don't want to substantiate it by naming it a particular religion and or denomination or spiritual belief process, so we have an inclination to call it faith. By faith, I am able to love. By faith, I am able to believe that God has something bigger and better in store for me. By faith, I am able to walk into the depths of life and do the things that I once thought was impossible. By faith, I'm able to have courage. By faith, I'm able to have determination. By faith, I can have compassion, empathy, sympathy. By faith, I can love. But the letter says faith without works is dead. Here's a challenge. If you're like me, you have a list of resolutions that sound good and look good on paper. My God, some years I have framed them, pinned them up, did it in color. The top 3 are highlighted in purple. The next 3 are fuchsia. The next 3 are in green. And the bottom 3 that you never get to are in red, cold red. Watch out, watch yourself. But the reality is that no matter what color they are, no matter what script they're in, no matter how finely printed and what font they're in, nothing will make them come to fruition unless you work. Faith without work is dead. When was the last time you made an alteration in the behavior or habits that you're displaying? When was the last time that you paused for the cause and instead of making that usual right turn, you turned left? When was the last time that you chose to believe so much that those very things that you know you should do, that you don't want to do, you do? Faith without works is dead. I don't know about you, but I want to be happy. I want to be joyful. I want to be successful. I want to walk around all day and smile all day and laugh a little bit. I want to be happy. I don't want nobody's mess or foolishness interrupting my happiness, my joy. I don't want nobody's crooked smile or crooked face to interrupt my smiling, symmetric, gorgeous, handsome, dare I say, face. But that's what I want. But I gotta work for it. I have to work for it. I have to do the hard work that it takes to be happy. And if you know what I know, it's hard work. Because people's stuff gets all up in the way. People that you know, people that you don't know. People that you choose to be around, people that you had no choice. They always around. You walk into a space and it smells funny. What are you going to do? You walk into a place and somebody's looking funny at you. What are you going to do? You walk in a room and you mind your own business and all of a sudden somebody wants to get all up in your business. Can I just be me? Faith without works is dead. I'm here to caution you and challenge you that our work is a perplexing thing here because part of it depends on our prayer life, our ability to be connected to God through prayer. And in many ways, many of us are walking around with mixed signals and mixed messages because our prayer life is unaligned with our actual life. And so we're walking by faith, but we're not doing the work. Our faith allows us to get up in the morning and move about our day. Get in the shower, get yourself dressed, get a little breakfast, get in your car, get to your job, do your job, do it well, go home, fix a little dinner, take care of whoever you got to take care of, and do the cycle. That's faith. When you get out of the bed in the morning and you put your feet on the ground, by faith, you believe that the ground is going to be solid and you're going to be standing up. When you get in your car in the morning and you turn the ignition and push the gas pedal, by faith, you believe that the car is going to move. But the question is, what work have you done? Have you aligned yourself with the voice of God? I don't know about you, but I'm in a place in my life now where God says don't go to work. I ain't going. Now, God don't say that too often. And sometimes when God says it like this. I wake up in the morning and I just don't feel good. And rather than trying to push myself to feel good, I need to pause for the cause and align with God. God's telling me that your body's tired, so lay it back down. And I believe that I'm the only one in the world who can do what I do high chance you may enjoy a little more. So when God says, don't go, I'm learning how it's work. Because our muscle memory, and whatever time you wake up in the morning, you just get up. And you may be half of yourself and not feeling good, but you just get up and you say, I gotta do it, I'm a trooper, I gotta be a trooper, Sometimes God will say, no, there's something I really want to show you, and I need your attention and your focus. So why don't you lay down for a little bit and spend some time with me? No, don't turn on the TV. You don't need noise to confuse you. Just spend a little, just be. When was the last time that you brewed a little tea and brought out 2 cups for yourself and God? And pour a little cup for yourself and pour God a little taste. Just leave it there. And just sit there and enjoy some tea and watch that other cup of tea somehow just dissipate. Almost like the steam sucked the tea out of the cup. Almost like somebody took a sip out of it. When was the last time you just paused and spent some time with God? It's hard work. And you say, okay, what am I supposed to do when I do that? Ask God, God, what should my priorities be? What are the things in this season or cycle of life, what should I be focused on? Believe me, God's list is different than yours. Believe me, God's list is different than yours. Our list is based on our socialization. You grow up and you're a good kid and you listen to everybody, and you go to school and you make something of yourself, and you get a job and you work your job and you make something of yourself, and people pat you on the back and say what a nice person you are. But that's the regular route. God is saying, I created you uniquely special and different from everybody else. And there's something that I really want you to focus on. It may be one thing, it may be 2 things, it may be 3. But there's something specific that God wants you to work on. A priority. Are you taking time for that priority? Are you working on it? Are you working on it? Or are you just trying to faith it through? Faith without works is dead. So I ask you this question. What good is it, my brothers and sisters, if someone says he or she has faith but does not have works? Can that faith save them? If a brother or sister is poorly clothed and lacking in daily food, and one of you says to them, go in peace, be warmed, and filled, without giving them the things needed for the body, what good is that? What do you need? And when was the last time you asked God, not only for what you need, but ask God sincerely, God, what do I need? What do I need in order to accomplish your priorities for my life? Faith by itself, without works,